Here are 20 facts that sound fake, but are actually true. A double fermentation process known as methochampenoise is used to create champagne that creates a lot of carbon dioxide that leads to an internal pressure of around 5 to 6 atmospheres. That's the equivalent of over 5 kilograms of weight on every square centimeter of glass. Because of this, champagne bottles are much thicker and heavier, and their corks are held on by wire cages to prevent premature cork popping. There's an animal called the rough-skinned newt whose skin produces a toxin called tetrodotoxin that is so potent that it's approximately 10,000 times stronger than cyanide. The reason that pool tables are covered in green felt is because the original game of billiards was played on lawns outside. Play then moved indoors to a wooden table with green cloth to simulate grass. We have a gene called the Sonic Hedgehog gene. It was first discovered in the fruit fly and is named for the spiky appearance of fruit fly larvae that have mutated versions of the gene. British student Robert Riddle got the name Sonic Hedgehog from a British comic book of his daughters. At just age 7, actress Drew Barrymore became the youngest person to host Saturday Night Live, appearing on the show in 1982 to promote E.T. Researchers at the University of Washington have introduced a new way of communicating that allows devices such as brain implants, contact lenses, credit cards, and smaller wearable electronics to talk to everyday devices such as smartphones and watches. This new interscatter communication works by converting Bluetooth signals into Wi-Fi transmissions over the air using only reflections. An interscatter device such as a smart contact lens converts Bluetooth signals from a smartwatch, for example, into Wi-Fi transmissions that can be picked up by a smartphone. Stalin's guards were so afraid of him that no one called a doctor over 10 hours after he had originally had a stroke resulting in his death. They feared that he might recover and execute anyone who acted outside of his orders. There is a mental disorder called maladaptive daydreaming, where a person spends an excessive amount of time daydreaming, often becoming immersed in their imagination. This behavior is usually a coping mechanism in people who have mental health conditions like anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorders, and depression. Cans of regular soda tend to be more dense than water, so they sink. Cans of diet soda are usually less dense than water, so they float. The Gombe Chimpanzee War was a 4-year violent conflict between two communities of chimpanzees in Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania. It lasted from 1974 to 1978, which marked the first instance that conservationists saw chimps engage in calculated, cold-blooded killing. Israel has the most museums per capita in the world, with more than 200 across the country. The green vomit that comes out of Regan, played by actress Linda Blair in the 1973 movie The Exorcist, was actually a combination of split pea soup and oatmeal. There's a phenomenon that exists called cellular memory. It occurs when organ transplant recipients experience the same thoughts and cravings as their organ donors. In China, if you're caught cheating on exams, you get banned from repeating the test for several years. And if you're caught facilitating mass cheating or paying someone to take the test for you, you can be sent to jail for 7 years. Scientists from Cambridge University in 2006 discovered how adult meerkats teach their youngest pups how not to be stung by scorpions, one of their main sources of prey. They bring the pups dead scorpions, then ones that are live but injured, and then eventually they work their way up to prey that is alive. The galactic year, also known as a cosmic year, is the duration of a complete rotation of the Milky Way, which is approximately 200 million terrestrial years. Koreans donated billions of euros worth of gold jewelry to help pay down the nation's International Monetary Fund debt in the wake of the 1997 Asian financial crisis. It actually enabled them to pay off the debt ahead of schedule. The government asked the citizens to donate their gold jewelry, and millions of people did so by donating heirlooms, wedding rings, trophies, and small gold figurines. 227 tons of gold was collected within months. There is a dog breed called Basenji that does not have the ability to bark. It can produce a yodeling howl sound, though. It is a small to medium-sized square-shaped animal that is believed to be bred intentionally without the ability to bark. Mexican shamans began to use Coca-Cola in their religious rituals to heal worshippers. When Pepsi discovered this, they offered commissions to shamans for using Pepsi instead. Coca-Cola found out and they began paying. And thus the Mexican shamans became a battleground for cold wars between Pepsi and Coke. Soon rival religious groups were formed based on which soft drink they use. Jia Haixia, a double amputee, and Jim Winke, a blind man, together planted 10,000 trees in Yele village, located in northern China. The trees helped prevent their village from flooding, reduced the amount of pollution in the region's air, and brought birds and other wildlife to the area. The two plan to plant another 10,000 trees. please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I see you guys next time.